Hey everybody, how's it going? It's number 2 for the Flannel Cast, and Will is back, and we are joined by my good friend Zach.
I'm Terry's adopted father.
He is. He adopted me like the first time he met me.
This is a wing, and you're under it. He's so cute.
We saw Spider-Man: Homecoming about a week ago, and like how I think we're always gonna do this, we're gonna wait about a week so we can just
let it fester.
Yep, let it sit.
Some of us let it settle.
I like the term ruminate.
No, bubble and boil, total trouble. I gotta go with that, man.
All right.
Which brew?
So, what did you guys just overall like? Well, what's your first blanket impression before we start delving into like an ever spiraling hole of detail?
I'm gonna let Will take the lead on this one because he's the resident Spider-Man guy.
Yeah,
all of our friends.
As a whole, Go ahead.
His son's name is Riley.
Yeah.
After Ben Riley.
I named him after Ben Riley.
Deserves to go first.
That stuff runs deep, folks.
His daughter's name is May.
Yeah, yep. And I will call her Mayday.
We call her Mayday.
As a whole, as a Spider-Man movie, I thought it was great. I thought they did a great job with the movie. I thought the action with Spider-Man, the sequences where they added all the extra web powers and things, I thought it was really awesome. It's stuff that he gets later. Normally he builds it himself, but as a whole, like, I will delve into the things I didn't like about the movie because there's a ton of things I didn't like, but it's more about the fact that the movie was really good on its own. It was fantastic. It's what we needed out of a Spider-Man movie. Sony ruined the last two, which I
last
hate.
3.
Well, yes, the last 3, but I'll give you that.
Technically.
Yeah, but I had always heard that that Raimi did the Venom thing that everybody hated, you know? So, like, then that was his choice and whatever. But at the end of the day, like, at least the last 2, I just was like, man, I hate what you're doing here.
You also probably need one less video of people crap talking Raimi Venom on the internet.
Yes.
We're not gonna do that.
I like sing my praises for Sam Raimi's Venom. There's a good core, but just a shitty exterior.
Yeah,
to
1
that.
and 2, I loved 1 and 2. 1 was like me seeing a superhero on the screen for the first time, other than because I wasn't a DC fan, so Batman didn't matter for me. I mean, like, granted, I loved Michael Keaton Batman stuff, but as far as going into as far as going into those movies, I was not like, man, this character that I grew up with. And I was like, no, because I didn't read any Batman stuff, you know? But Spider-Man, I did. And so seeing this on screen for the first time, I was like, oh my god, and getting to see Uncle Ben, like, all these characters kind of coming together, I was like, this is great.
For years, the movie industry glanced over comic books because they were like, it doesn't matter, they're never going to do anything.
Yeah.
I went and saw the first Spider-Man movie 7 times in theater because it blew my mind that we were finally here. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm 31. I'm a giant man-child. As you can probably tell by my Chewbacca shirt and my Star Wars cap. It's just how it is. I never in a million years would have thought that, like, my tiny little Zach baby bearded dreams would one day be up on the big screen. Yeah. And it was a big deal. Now they do it to death every year, but hey, I don't care. Keep making them till I die.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of things like I mean, this year, or not this year, I think it's next year that's coming out, but we're getting a New Warriors show. I don't even care if it's not really like the New Warriors, like the full team. We're getting Squirrel Girl, who's the AT&T chick, and I love it. I'm so happy with it.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool.
I'm
So you
super
didn't see
excited
about
about that.
No, I didn't.
Very super excited about it.
I'm very excited about the Inhumans TV show.
Yes.
I think that's going to be a great thing.
Man, Medusa doesn't look good, and everyone's hating on Medusa. I don't think they're going to do her correctly.
If it's TV, they can't have that constant CG going.
I'm a big guy that avoids stuff like
I
try to avoid all that stuff because I want to be surprised.
But also,
okay, fair enough.
We have not talked very much about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So we got off on a thing.
My main takeaway from this movie was I walked out of there. I was mostly happy with the movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun. Even the things I didn't really like, I had fun watching the movie. It was great. I laughed a bunch. I was shocked a bunch. But in general, I loved the movie. It was good. Yeah.
All right, Zach. What are your just overall opinions?
You know what? I think the main thing I can touch on that Will didn't already talk about, honestly, is that I felt really refreshed for the franchise after watching this movie.
I agree.
Because, like, I liked...
It felt good not feeling bad leaving a Spider-Man movie.
I liked the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans. I liked the first 3 Spider-Mans with Tobey Maguire. I liked Electro. I liked what they did with the Green Goblin. But this one, I feel, touched a little more core, like that good feeling I got from watching the main Marvel things.
I'll give that.
And honestly, for me, I don't really have a lot of negative to say about it. I have some things that I will comment on, when we get to it.
Yeah.
But it's only going to be one or two. Like I said, I felt really refreshed, and I felt good.
It was a better, refreshing moment, because when Andrew Garfield hit the scene, I was very happy with him as a casting choice.
Yeah.
But then going into the movie,
he looked like Spider-Man.
Right, he does.
I walked out of that
just
movie
before this podcast. He, in excruciating detail, proved to me how much Andrew Garfield looked.
It's true.
Like Spider-Man's portrayal at that time.
I've basically been the referee in a boxing ring between these two guys right now.
Because they had changed him from that,
Keep it above the belt. No rabbit punches. Headbutting is totally okay, though.
Oh, but he's got a hat. That's not fair.
Sucks for you, nerd.
They had changed what he had looked like from that dorky guy, and because he became older. He was married to Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Those are the things I got used to, and a lot of people didn't like Clone Saga and The Other and things like that. But I grew up on those things.
Spider-Man is magic too.
Yeah. Well,
Don't
and
forget
the devil.
The bone.
Oh yeah, the bone
claws.
spike. Yeah, Kane kept those. Later on, he used those. He used them to kill people.
Kane is strongest, Parker.
Yeah, of course. but it was something that seeing Andrew Garfield, I was like, that's a good pick for it now. And then seeing that first movie, I was even a little refreshed on that movie, even though I walked away, I was like, I hate what you did to Lizard. I didn't like the casting choice of him really.
Well, it was terrible.
But it was something that where I was looking at it, and some of the other actors kind of that star power that they were trying to bring. Who was the Stacy, the Captain Stacy guy?
Oh, was it Dennis Leary?
Yeah, Dennis Leary, and I was like, man, I haven't seen Dennis Leary in a while, so I was kind of off put by a couple things.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he did a real good
about
job.
That movie, Dennis Leary for me is kind of like Kevin Bacon, where every single time I see him, it doesn't matter how long he's in a movie, I always think it's a cameo.
Yeah.
So because with X-Men First Class, when Kevin Bacon was in it right in the beginning, I was like, wow, that's a really cool Kevin Bacon cameo. And then he's in the next 40 minutes of the movie. I'm like, wow, this cameo's really long.
This is the longest Kevin Bacon cameo.
Because when you talk about Kevin Bacon, you see him he did that show The Following, and he had a show, and I was like, okay, this is fitting for Kevin Bacon because even when he was in Footloose and stuff, it was not really
greatest movie ever.
It wasn't like he was a big name guy. He was just kind of around, and so. It was funny.
I was in Tremors once.
That's the thing.
He saved a whole town from dance.
That's true.
If you haven't seen it, spoilers.
When they did the show The Following, I was like, okay, this is a good fit for him.
But then felt like Kevin Bacon.
But when he was in the X-Men movie, I was like, okay, cool. I like Kevin Bacon.
They weren't allowed to dance in the town, and he saved it. It was amazing.
They just
legally not being able to dance is your greatest fear.
It really is. Sometimes you just got to strut it out.
Yeah. So I looked at it and I was like, they just needed more connections for Kevin Bacon. But then when they came out with the new stuff where they're he's helping reboot Tremors to a certain degree, and so I was like, I'm not surprised by that.
I would like it to be a genuine sequel to Tremors, where it's oh no, they stopped coming,
dude. Well,
but now they're back, and I have to train the new generation.
Or what I would like to see happen is kind of what happened with I don't know if you guys saw the B movie role for Kickboxer. Jean-Claude Van Damme in the movie went from being the kickboxer to the sensei.
Correct.
And I would like to see Kevin Bacon take on the role of the older cowboy that knows how to deal with the Tremors.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, no, that would be very cool. I'm excited for things like that, but in The Amazing Spider-Man, when I seen, Dennis Leary, I was I'm kind of surprised by a couple, casting choices. And I was happy with the movie, and generally, even with the New York love thing at the end, which was the cranes moving, even with how campy that stuff was.
The thing is though, that didn't work in that movie because he could have just used the goddamn buildings.
No, I agree with you. Listen,
but he got shot.
It was more about the New York coming together thing. I mean,
I'm gonna say it a lot. They did that so much better.
Since I'm going to continue referring, point to Will because Terry's a sourpuss.
but whoa, that is a personal judgment that I don't think you're being impartial here.
Another point to Will because Terry is arguing with the judge.
I felt refreshed.
Yeah.
But then when I seen the second movie, I seen more of the glaring things from the first movie, and it was more about I was like, oh my god! Now I walked out of the second movie so pissed. They took a storyline that was one of my favorite storylines, and I just was crushed by what they did with the whole movie in general. Mm-hmm. And then I looked back at the first one, and I was like, wow, these weren't really that good.
By the end of the movie, you didn't care that Gwen Stacy got her neck broke.
No.
Because instead of doing a step up, they did a lateral step but it didn't accentuate the things that were good about the first movie. It highlighted the things that were wrong with the series.
Also, the ending of the first one, I glanced over and I didn't care that much about it because I wanted him to date Gwen Stacy. But then looking back with how they trashed that relationship, was it really worth breaking the promise to the dad for that? And it became like a bigger problem.
Sometimes those are the worst kind. And you're just like,
well, but see, when I first seen that, I was like, sometimes the promises or breaking those promises, like I'm fine with that because you do that. But
that is so. That's not the Peter Parker move, though. The Peter Parker move is like, and that's, I'm not Spider-Man anymore.
That's
and then he
part
just runs
of
away.
the glaring problem.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that we talked about because that Peter Parker there, even though I loved Andrew Garfield because of who he would be, that Peter Parker was supposed to be more like the dude from the first ones. Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Actor names are killing me right now. Tobey Maguire should have been, like, that was who he was being. He was being that Peter Parker. Yeah. The shy, like, dorky, nerdy guy. And Andrew Garfield was confident and stuff, and it was totally different because he's playing this high school kid. It was wrong. It was completely wrong for the whole thing. Yeah. Andrew Garfield was a better Peter Parker for grown-up Peter Parker.
If Andrew Garfield played, like, college Peter Parker...
or just out of college Peter Parker.
Yeah, after he had railed a couple people, especially he railed the one chick, and then she got her neck snapped, and he was like... Walk away from that.
This is the thing that bothered me about Andrew Garfield. He already looked like he was in college, and he's like, I'm a teenager. Yeah. It's like the kids from 90210. Dude, that hairline is receding. You're not in high school. You're not fooling anybody.
Right.
But the beat can do no wrong here. We love the beat.
Oh my God. You're going to have to cut this out. I'm sorry. But you were there for when we seen Vanderbeek on TV, right?
Yeah.
Vanderbeek's doing a weird thing.
It's a fake mockumentary series
about
him being Dido, the musician.
Not Dido.
Or was it Dido? What is that guy's name?
I'm not cutting this out.
Diplo. And what they showed
Diplo?
Diplo is a house musician.
Right. But and I've seen a couple Diplo remixes or heard them or whatever. Yeah. And so I'd never seen Diplo whatsoever. And so it was a commercial.
Dude, we're sitting there. Hold on, let's reenact it. We're sitting there on his giant couch, and I'm like,
and it comes up and it says Diplo, and it shows James Vanderbeek. Yeah, I know what the beat looks like.
This. We go,
and it says Diplo underneath, and he's just talking, and it's normal. They're not. And I look at him, I go, is James Vanderbeek Diplo?
And I was like,
is this what's been going on?
I feel like this is something we would have heard about by now. This can't be real.
I turned to him and I was like, this is like when we all found out the guy from Gorillaz was from Blur. Like that's when we were like,
nobody believed that at first. So like, there's no way.
Well, because they hid it for a while, but then I was like, was he hiding this the whole time? I was like, I've never seen Diplo. Dude, maybe he is the beat.
James Vanderbeek is a real-life superhero. He has an alter ego that's fantastic.
But it turns out that it's like a mockumentary thing, and it's just this joke that they have, I guess, because they look sort of similar, but they don't really.
Whatsoever.
I don't agree with it whatsoever, but it was very funny, and it was shocking. So I'm glad you said the beat, because I was like, what the fuck? That reminded me. So yeah.
We love the beat here. Moral of the story is... Oh, that's fine.
That's all statement.
All right. That's fine. I'm going to give you one more minute on Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man because I will.
No.
Because I still got to do my.
You got to do your thing. We can come back to our things later.
So again, this is going to sound a little repeated because I kind of have the same opinion as them. I overall really, really, really enjoyed the movie. There were a couple little things that I walked away from. I was like, but I didn't actually nitpick this movie to the point where I didn't like it anymore because I think overall everything that I was like, I don't really care for that was outweighed by a lot of the really, really good stuff.
I agree with you. I'm having a harder time with that, but I agree with you on that. That's what my problem is.
I think it's good. Overall, I think this was one of the best moves that they could have done for Spider-Man.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yes, exactly. Because any positive is the best move.
Yeah.
They could literally have made a movie half as good as this, and it still would have been good enough for me. Because Marvel was primed to make $1 billion and a $1 billion superfans really happy.
And even if I didn't care for this portrayal of Peter Parker.
I disagree.
I know. Me and you are on ends because again, I like older Peter
gloves. Go back to your corners.
But because I don't want to delve into this yet, we won't get our time for that. But the one thing I do agree with you on is when they show Tom Holland, and he was excited about what just happened in the Civil War type thing. That I was like, that is amazing. There was so many scenes where it was just like, I don't feel like he's Peter. Oh my God, that's Peter Parker. Okay, I don't feel like he's Peter Parker anymore.
It was almost like a little meta, because he was just
well, that movie was meta. There were so many those things annoyed me too much.
I don't think they could have gotten I don't think they could have escaped it.
I agree,
because there have been 5 Spider-Man movies before this. Like, you could have been born 10 years ago, and you still would have been alive for 4 Spider-Man movies.
Yeah. No, they have been. It's a problem because we probably could have went a little bit longer without another Spider-Man movie.
I completely agree.
Oh, yeah, but
I think the best thing for any of the Fox properties is to just let them sit for 5 years.
Yeah, the next Spider-Man movie is 2 years. It's 2019.
I'm okay with this.
But it's fine because, they've already... Like, this one went over well.
You also can't... The way that they're planning out the movies, you can't make them wait too long because every year is supposed to be another year in high school and then college.
Because Feige screwed that up now, so that's not a thing anymore.
That is my biggest complaint with this movie.
And it wasn't really a thing before, but we kind of just like they told us when it was in the timeline when it conflicted with the release dates.
Because they have pointed out dates enough times in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for us to know definitively
when
that
happened.
The movies correlate to the dates in which they come out. Like, they've referred to the incident, the Battle for New York, as a 2012 incident. And, that has been in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was in...
Daredevil.
That was in Daredevil. It was in a ton of things after...
I'm pretty sure it's been acknowledged in almost every...
It's always acknowledged. Yep. There are other things that are also acknowledged in a different way. When Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I believe it did come out that was... around the same time, because at the beginning they gave you a date and then they told you it was so many years later.
Exactly.
Correctly.
See, Guardians of the Galaxy is the only one that can get away with it because they're not tied to real world events.
But they will be tied in a little bit, but that was because they're in space, they can get away with a little bit. The second movie that came out...
We should all be able to get away with it. Time isn't real.
Yeah, time's just
it's not the past and present.
The second movie, they were like, this takes place a couple months later, and
this is time!
because the last time we did an hour and a half...
Oh, jeez.
It was
okay,
ridiculous.
There we go.
But no, when it's not correlating to the date the movies are coming out or whatever, they tell us in the movies when the time timelines are happening or whatever. So it's a little different for this movie. For not making 8 years, even if the Battle for New York happened in 2012, is my math incorrect? But this would make it 2018, and we're in 2017.
Yeah, that would make it 2020.
No. If the battle happened in 2012, which is when it's supposed to happen, 8 years would be 2020.
Yeah.
But Feige's trying to say 2010.
Yeah.
So that would be 2018, which is still wrong.
Right.
And so I'm just like, what is going on?
And they definitively say that Civil War took place in 2016.
Yeah.
And this takes place 2 months after Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
That's
correct. Exactly. So there's a bigger gap in there.
Yep.
Right.
Don't
worry, guys. Flashpoint will retcon all of this, and it will be okay.
I know retcons are just a thing in comics, and you just have to deal with it. But the thing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that it was accessible, regardless of how deep you were into comics already.
Well, also
this ruins that.
But retcons were always a problem for anybody jumping into the series. The movies were supposed to be easy for people to just jump in, because they were like glazed over versions of what was in the comics.
It's also their own storyline that just connects in a larger story.
Yes, but at the end of the day, comic retcons were like a huge problem for people.
Yeah.
A lot of people they'll try and jump into comics after a big retcon, not retcon, but like Rebirth,
like
or New 52, or Flashpoint.
A soft reshooting.
Well, Marvel's been not rebooting things for like 30 years.
Marvel's getting ready to do a soft reboot.
No, because they're supposed to be doing a large reboot with the legacy
all
thing.
Different.
No, that's been out for like 2 years.
Right.
I work in a comic book store, guys. People are very pissed a lot of the time with what's going on with DC Marvel.
Because listen, when Spider-Man and when Aunt May died or was dying, and he had to make the deal with Mephisto, it was clear for different reasons.
I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to get real mad
because it's a problem.
I'm going to get real mad.
Granted, I liked the stories after that. Yeah. It was refreshing to me in Spider-Man. A lot of people didn't like Dan Slott. I liked a lot of that stuff that happened after that.
A lot of those stories are pretty solid.
I know. I agree.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I
think the
Horizon Labs, all that stuff was fantastic.
Yeah, the instigator for the reboot is one of the shittiest comic books published in the last 20 years.
Yep.
Like, it's insulting. It's insulting as a comic book fan.
We've been bitching about things like that for a while now because, Aunt May, I don't remember that much because I was a little bit younger. But when Aunt May died, it wasn't like was dying. It wasn't like there was a huge outcry to fix that. or whatever. But when Cap got shot with that bullet, it was shocking and stuff. It was Death of Superman.
Nobody saw it coming.
No one saw it coming. And then they were like, time bullet, and everyone flipped their shit because I was like, that is such a cop out. It's a very big problem.
I mean,
as far as I know,
Mm-hmm.
one person has officially been killed off in the Marvel Universe and stayed dead, and that is Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel, and also in the new Thor, Jane Foster, who is now she is the new Thor. Yeah. She's dying, and the cover of her cover, or the picture on her cover of that one where she's supposed to be dying, she's in the same pose as Captain Marvel. Like, that is insinuating that she's dead. Like, because they have not brought back Captain Marvel in that capacity.
Yeah, but I mean, give it 20 years. She'll probably be back like 6 times.
Captain Marvel hasn't.
He's been dead since like the 80s.
That's my favorite superhero of all time. Yeah. And they keep teasing me with it. He came back one time as a Skrull, so it's not coming back.
Yeah. He came back with his memory.
Right.
Captain Marvel's memory.
Right. He came back one time from an alternate universe where cancer was riddling, so he ruled because he died by cancer. So
Cancerverse. No death in that universe.
Right, but he wasn't the Captain Marvel that we all knew and loved. And then he came back a third time when the Phoenix Force was coming to Earth, and he was resurrected slightly, like in just a manifestation to help Carol Danvers. Stop it. But to help Carol Danvers, and even then it still wasn't a true resurrection. They've resurrected a bunch of people. Yeah. They resurrected Rich Rider recently. Well, like 2 years ago by now or whatever. But that was even then they resurrect those characters. But
is Ares back up yet?
I'm sure Ares is back. I
like Ares.
There hasn't been a true death in comics in Marvel in a long time. There's been a real one that stayed dead. They stayed dead for a little bit.
And if you know somebody who's died in Marvel and stay dead, post in the comments.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Terry will answer that.
I will. I respond to literally every single comment.
It's true. I made fun of him at like 3 a.m. this morning, and he responded to it.
Oh, yeah, no, we all love debating. I mean, me and you are master debaters, so it's true. Fucking perfect for this.
I've walked in on it.
Yeah, I master debate him, and then he master debates me, and then we just...
I like to turn around and watch in a mirror while I master debate, because I feel like I get to practice the look on my own face and control my facial movements.
So, Will, what were some of your complaints with...
okay, are we ready for this?
Yeah.
Wait, can I talk about my favorite part of the movie first?
Okay, yeah.
Because it's real short.
Go ahead.
My favorite part of the movie is when Spider-Man's posing in front of the flag, and then it zooms around, and that guy goes, "Hey, are you Spider-Man?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Do a backflip." And Spider-Man does it. He goes, "Yeah." And that guy goes, with the boombox goes, "That was awesome."
I'm pretty sure Zach played both of those characters.
Because the reason why I like that so much is because I'm like that every day in my real life, and I really felt a deep spiritual connection with those guys.
Well, and
B, if that was we had superheroes in the real world, people would do that shit all the time.
Well, you can't do that to guys like Superman. You can't just be like, "Superman, do a flip."
Yeah, no. I would ask Superman for a laser eyes. Superman, laser eyes. Your
Superman. Into this. It's a little hot out. Hit me with the minty breath. Yeah, I want to feel the ice winds.
But you gotta understand, anybody can do a flip. There's parkour people out there that can do. They were just literally like, be a normal person. That's not fast. They were like, flip.
That's kind of empowering, really. But you know what? They appreciate Spider-Man as a person, not as a Spider-Man.
But my problem with that is he doesn't appreciate them as people.
Yeah,
that was my huge problem with that movie.
I don't want to see regular people do flips. I'm just throwing that out there right now.
Listen, you've seen Batrock. You liked Batrock. He was a normal person that did flips and shit.
That's fair, but Batrock's also tricky in French. That's why I like him. With the wispy mustache.
All right. Yeah. So what was?
Hitting that note, my big problem is I never. Growing up with Spider-Man, even when he was like a punk kid, he grew up in the Bronx. They gave me
Queens.
He grew up in Queens, my bad. But it's Queens, Bronx, all those things. It was New York City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Queens is the suburb.
Okay. We're gonna have this debate right now. You live in Southgate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cutting it. Go back to your point.
Anyways,
this is why I'm here, by the way.
I'm just saying that, when you talk about things around here, you say you're from Detroit. You're not saying you're from Southgate.
Well, when we explain it to people that aren't from around here.
From New York. Yeah, he's from a suburb. But even when he was talking to Captain America was like, "I'm from the Bronx. You're from Queens. This is cool." It gave me hope that Cap was like, "Fucking Bronx rules over all other fools," and Spider-Man was like, "You're right, bro." And then when this movie came out, he was like, "Fuck Queens. I'm moving upstate." He didn't give a shit about the city at all. He didn't care about New York. The whole time, in the commercials, he was like, "This old lady, I helped her. She bought me a churro. That was awesome." And I was like, "That was a cool commercial. I love this." And then I got in the movie, and then they were like, when we gonna get out here? When we're gonna be done with this place?
Yeah, but that's,
Happy, when you gonna get me out of here?
The Bronx is the worst place.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't feel the
Like,
same.
counterpoint, he's 15.
Yeah.
2, that's the lesson he learned at the end. Like,
yeah, at the end of the movie.
Exactly.
Right.
He grew as a character.
Okay, but when he was 15, he did love New York. He was a part of the city.
He wants to be the Avengers. And the Avengers is it's you scale up to the Avengers. And
right, which is my problem because I feel like if anybody's the villain in this movie, it's Iron Man. Because Iron Man ruined my favorite character, Spider-Man. Second favorite. Yes, ruined. He did. He gave that kid a suit when he didn't deserve it, which made him feel worthless. He made that kid feel like shit. That kid was like, I'm nothing without the suit. That's Tony's fault. He did that to him.
Counterpoint, Spider-Man doesn't do that at all, ever. He never feels like he's nothing.
I know.
Because of lack of suit or lack of powers.
Like he just
has a deep self-hate that makes him feel like he's nothing.
Yeah. Well, because he has Parker luck or whatever. But at the end of the day, he always feels like he can overcome anything. He can work towards something. He'll get down on his luck, but he always gets back up again. He keeps going.
It's more that he's spurred to it. It's not that he has that in him.
Also,
there's always something outside that makes him look like, no, I.
Oh my God! Outside, would you maybe say Ben's death that they don't reference at all, but yet is supposed to be a driving point for
that is my biggest problem.
Whoa!
Because they don't mention him at all.
And it's good.
But
I've seen it.
Oh my God!
I've seen it 4 times in 5 movies.
So we didn't need to see Spider-Sense at all in the movie either because of that, right? Because that was the exact same reason they said that.
My biggest problem was it wasn't not seeing old man's get shot because I don't want to see it too much.
We didn't need to see that.
Yeah,
the biggest problem I had with the movie is that there was a very, very huge misrepresentation or no representation of with great power comes great responsibility.
Well, it made me feel like he didn't learn any lessons as a kid. Like growing up, they weren't good parents. And that's not the truth in the comic books.
Or if you want to argue that it is in the movie, Tony Stark is the one that tries to enforce that in him, which is not where that comes from.
Right. Tony Stark is Uncle Ben in this movie.
Basically.
Yeah, but he's also a bad guy too because he's fucking things up.
I'll give you that one because he does a bad job of being Uncle Ben, but I think that's why the lesson that he learns that he enacts at the end, because he doesn't just Tony Stark wasn't just like, nope, that was a test and you supposed to completely succeed. He's like, no, that wasn't a thing, that wasn't an option I gave him at all. He did the right thing anyway.
Right, because he learned his own lesson.
From Uncle Ben. That's all implied. That's all
I didn't feel like it's implied
whatsoever. I think when you apply just with great power comes great responsibility, I think Spider-Man, he did that on his own. And because I know, as a Spider-Man fan, as someone who has seen Uncle Ben's death 4 fucking times in the last 10 years, I know that has been said to him. That's instilled in him, and it's a lesson that he finally internalized. I
don't feel like it's represented in the movie.
I don't feel like it's represented until the end of the movie.
Yeah, but that's the point, because he's learning his own lesson.
There was only one other time that I seen that movie that I felt like this is a great power comes great responsibility moment, when he was supposed to act like Spider-Man in the party, and then he was like, big explosion, and then he had to run off to the explosion. I get that. I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah. It failed in the movie for me.
I disagree.
That's fine. It worked for you. It sucked for me.
Completely. That's the thing about it.
I seen a guy talk about the movie, and he was like, "Man, I really love that he wore Uncle Ben's suit to the homecoming." I was like, "When the fuck was that said?"
Yeah.
But that's what that guy seen from that movie. That's how he thought that Uncle Ben was represented. Whether or not it's true or not, I don't feel like it was true at all.
I thought it was just a ratty suit that
I thought it was just a suit that he had.
Yeah. So
it would have made a difference if it.
That's actually pretty cool. Now, if that's actually what it was,
but then why was it in his closet, and why did it fit him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Uncle Ben wasn't a short man. He was a grown adult.
We don't know how this Uncle Ben looked.
Well, also, who knows? Maybe he's Joe Pesci. I don't know.
Oh, God. That sounds amazing.
No, it doesn't. Now that Aunt May's like super Italian, I guess they could go with Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
But hold on, pump the brakes.
This sounds amazing.
That sweet Aunt May.
No, listen.
So you and the 19 other people in the movie have to point that out?
No, listen.
That's one of my complaints of the movie.
Well, because
the joke was driven home that Aunt May is hot, but it was one of those meta jokes that's for us and not
I know.
Because we all know Aunt May is supposed to be old. And
I know. And listen, leading up to the movie, I was all for Aunt May being like hot Aunt May, like younger Aunt May. I'm fine with that.
That's fine.
Well, it didn't make sense that he was raised by like grandparents type thing. Like,
I just keep wondering during the next reboot if she's just going to be like a swimsuit model. Because like she already started off sexy in the first Tobey Maguire movies.
Okay,
mad sexy, and then she just got sexier as the movies got rebooted.
But
so let's hope your fiance doesn't watch it.
I hope she watches it. She knows what's up.
He makes her wear an Aunt May wig. Yeah, and goes. What was
she goes. I made you wheat cakes.
Wheat cakes.
Is the only way I can go.
Is your cooking glove the Infinity Gauntlet?
Yeah.
Has Aunt May been the holder of the Infinity Gauntlet this entire time?
Well, she was the golden
water fountain, right? Because that's how old she was.
Ooh. Pumping the brakes again.
So I love the allusion to Miles Morales.
No, but that's a problem for her being old like that.
Y'all need Jesus.
You can't. It's more pointed to the millennials because millennials see those older generation as old racist people.
Yeah.
You know, so I get why they're making her younger.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't agree with it because I like old Aunt May. Old Aunt May wasn't racist, but it's that idea that they're de-aging her for a reason. And you can de-age her and tell me that she's sexy all you want to until she raises her Skeletor arm and it's like pencil thin and she was like, argh. And I was like, what happened to Marissa Tomei? I remember her and My Cousin Vinny and I was like, I want to fuck that mechanic chick. But now I was like, I might break her arm. Like if I'll like grab her and hold her and then she's like,
I'll tell you what happened. She's probably an actual grandma now.
she probably is.
Age is getting us all. Yeah. We didn't used to be fat, guys.
Right. Yeah, mate, you know what? That's actually a good argument because as we're getting closer to that age,
how old those characters actually are. That's why I value younger Spider-Man more and more. Because like I grew up with the animated series Spider-Man, where he was in college and post college.
Yeah, exactly.
So like,
great series.
but he was still that like. I mean, nobody's gonna really notice me, and I'm okay with that kind of like that was his personality in that one.
Oh yeah. So that's why I said those were something like. Andrew Garfield was a little overconfident at parts. Yeah. I mean, in the first movie they had him...
He was very smarmy.
My biggest complaint
in the second movie they made him stutter to like, kind of like, I don't know.
In the first movie they made him... He stuttered so much to cover up his accent because Andrew Garfield was also kind of a bad actor, so...
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know.
I just think... my main complaint, like, the one thing that I'll get about Andrew Garfield is that and it's not with him as an actor, it's with how they made Peter Parker. Peter Parker was never cool. Mm-hmm. Andrew Garfield, when you just start like doing check boxes of what is cool, it's like, yeah. Fuck, okay, I guess Peter Parker's not a loser, it's just, he's a dick.
See, for me, like, that was like, Andrew Garfield, yeah, you're right, he shouldn't have been that cool. Yeah. They made him a little bit more cool.
Also kind of a dick.
It's true. No, but for me, I looked at that, and Peter Parker was cool to me. He said references that I got. He wasn't supposed to be cool in that universe, so he wasn't supposed to be a popular kid, but he was supposed to feel cool to you as the reader.
But that is
a super scientist who could build whatever he wanted to, and he watched like 80s and 90s movies. Like he knew all the references.
I don't want to hang out with
jokes.
I want to hang out with someone who the Spider-Man that I like, the Spider-Man that I really love, is the Spider-Man where Peter Parker is not a good person. I mean, he doesn't outright do bad things,
right.
But he is a background character. He doesn't know how to communicate with people. He's just like, and he'll ruin his own relationships on like misguided senses of what he should and shouldn't do. But then Spider-Man is cool.
But Spider-Man's not cool. Everyone makes fun of Spider-Man.
Exactly, but
even the heroes make fun of Spider-Man, and then the villains make fun of Spider-Man.
Because Spider-Man, the main reason Spider-Man's
cool
to
like
me,
little brother annoying.
That's right? Yeah, nobody wants him around.
That's how he fights. Like that's why
I understand that.
I like
wins
the dad
most
jokes.
of the he wins most of the time because he just gets people irritated.
Right.
That's his tactic.
Because he gets the villains talking, and then he puts them like off their game because they're constantly like being annoyed by him.
Exactly, and then also that I am the baby of my family, so I guess that's why that appeals to me, because that is how I argue everything.
Well, I agree with you, but that's why I liked Andrew Garfield better, or at least that portrayal of Peter Parker better, because I felt like he did that better than in the Sam Raimi movies.
But in the comics there are two main portrayals of Spider-Man's quips in comics. One is this is a tactic, and the other one is this is anxiety.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly joking because I am scared out of my mind, and I think Tobey Maguire did that one.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So I
give you that.
Like for that alone. I think the Spider-Men in both of those movies were fantastic.
It's not Spider-Man, it's Spider-Mans.
Yeah, and also it's not Spider-Mans, it's Spider-Mangs.
Spider-Mangs. No, it's seriously, it is Spider-Mans. You gotta put
the Spider-Men.
No, it's not Spider-Men.
No,
Spider-Man is different.
They are the Spider-Men.
No, they're Spider-Mans.
No,
what about
Spider-Man? Spider-Man is different.
What about Spider-Bros or Spider-Comrades?
Yeah, Peter Spider-Man is totally different.
Spider-Dudes? Let's just agree to Spider-Dudes.
I'm fine with
the
Spider-Dudes.
plural of Spider-Man is Spider-Dudes.
I'm stepping in, I'm going to say no.
As long as we don't say Spider-Men, that's fine. But
I'm going to take 1 point away from the judge for physical violence.
Oh, I better make it count.
You already had your point. Yo.
Get another point. Points don't matter.
So, back on to Homecoming. Something I really liked about Spider-Man Homecoming, which is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, is the Vulture.
Oh,
this is the thing that everybody loves about the Vulture.
Yeah, Vulture was great.
I want to get on some positivity for a bit.
Oh yeah.
Before
I thought we were doing fine before.
Oh yeah.
No,
I want to get on something that we all agree on, where we're not going to complain
No, I agree.
Argue as much. So
I'm not arguing at all. I just think you're wrong.
I know.
I just think you're wrong. Yeah. No, I thought
the nose.
I thought
I gotta lube it.
I might.
I thought the Vulture did great. I thought they had a perfect. When they first said who the Vulture was going to be, I thought it was a great cast. Back in Amazing Spider-Man, days, they were talking about casting Vulture as my God, he was in Black Sails recently. He's a shorter, balding white guy. Just can't remember. But he has a nose for Vulture. No, God help me. Anyways,
I'm not short. I'm taller than you.
Oh, the guy who played being John Malkovich. That guy.
John Malkovich?
Is this John Malkovich? Yeah. That's what it is. Is that what his name is?
Yes.
I don't know him enough. Yeah. I don't pay attention to half the shit that he's in. I just know that movie.
I love that movie.
I've never even seen that movie. I just know of that movie. I think he's mad at me. That's fine. That is
he was in Being John Malkovich. Are you fucking playing?
I have no idea.
Are you kidding right now?
I don't know what these things are. Listen, we just talked about fucking the Beak being Diplo, maybe. Okay? The world is a lie, man. I don't know.
I feel like you're pooping the bed right now.
I don't know.
I gotta be honest.
Because I'm not going to watch Being John Malkovich because it's not in my wheelhouse of movies things that I would like.
I think it is a necessary movie for people to watch because it is so weird.
Wait. So was the one guy still himself in Curb Your Enthusiasm?
John David?
Yeah.
Or Larry David?
Larry David.
I think so.
He played the same person. That is Larry David, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's another thing that I would assume, but I don't know for sure.
Oh.
So I was like, I don't know. I don't know if he's always playing a character. There's plenty of.
Do you think John Malkovich and Larry David are the same person?
No, I don't.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
I'm just saying that there are some comedians that have a role that they play that, like Jeff Foxworthy and Cable Guy. Like Jeff Foxworthy is Jeff Foxworthy. I believe him 100%. The Cable Guy, not him. That's a character he plays all the time. He's like a normal dude. Yeah. He just is like, I can make fun of rednecks and then get away with it, and they'll love me.
I disagree. I think he is that guy.
No, he is totally not.
No, there's no way.
That is not his real name, and that is not his real accent.
His first name is Larry. His middle name is and his last name is Cableman.
Cableman. Yeah. No.
All right. So Michael Keaton.
Anyways, yes, they in the Amazing Spider-Man stuff they were going to cast
John Malkovich
as Vulture, which I was like, okay, he looks like that because he's older.
He probably would have been all right.
Yeah, if they were going for a more traditional portrayal of the Vulture, he probably would have done a really good job.
But now how Michael Keaton has aged and kind of updating the Vulture character, I liked it a lot. I really loved what they did with him.
So intimidating,
so good.
The flight jacket was fucking cool.
Well, because
he didn't yell.
Well, in the comics, he was just whatever. Like he could have been like Silvermane, right? Like it's kind of like a side character, like supposed to be more menacing, but he sucked.
Yeah.
Dude, the most amazing thing is Michael Keaton's like 5'3", and they made him imposing. Yep. That's amazing.
Oh yeah. They did a very good job. My favorite part, the car scene is my favorite part. The car scene is great.
But the setup was good because he was just like, I'm gonna have a talk with Father, I'm gonna have the dad talk.
I got scared because I've had the dad talk at the end of a gun, and it's not fun. So I was just like reliving some bad stuff.
Ignoring the part where, like, I know that Spider-Man has super senses, but ignoring the part where Vulture grabs him and Spidey has no idea he's coming.
Oh my god, yeah.
That part when he raises him in the air, it's like scary, it's frightening because you're like, tense. Then he gets caught in the parachutes, whatever, but before he falls... It's just
as shocking to you as it is to Peter.
But right before he falls, they show the Vulture in the moon, and it was like a throwback at Batman.
So good. But then, like,
it made my butthole pucker a little bit.
The thing that made everything on me clench was when Peter's falling and he's in the parachute. And you're just like,
dude, when he hit the water, he was like this. I was like, this is like that scene in fucking oh my god, the one
You're so bad at this.
I'm so bad at this right now. It's so bad. The one with the guy who has all the twists movies and stuff, and he got and he got stuck in the pool. Unbreakable. Yeah, Unbreakable. Yeah. That's what, I was like Invincible, but that's not right. Unbreakable. He fell in the pool, and I was like, this is like that scene. Yeah, this is like terrifying, even though it's just a pool.
I'm very claustrophobic in real life, and when he was in the water in the parachute,
you almost had
my nipples almost poked through my shirt. Like, I was sweating profusely.
It was very shocking.
I'm glad your shirt survived.
Oh, that shirt was ruined. I had to throw it away. It was
acid sweat broke through.
It was briny. It was briny. It was straight brine. There was flop sweat in there. It was bad.
I found a pickle.
Yes.
But they did. That's the one thing I can't complain about that movie.
Working man's villain for the Vulture.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, I've read and seen so many villains that are like, well, I'm just a thug, blah blah blah. I'm a street guy, and you're like, okay, now you just do all this.
Well, that's who Montana was at the beginning of the movie. Though when he was the first Shocker, he was like being a street.
He was a roughneck,
right? And that's like I think Michael Keaton, like as a villain, worked so well because like he, in addition to being just like, no, I'm doing this for my family, he became a real villain because at the end he was a hypocrite. Because like when he built up his whole business, it wasn't just a business and it wasn't just a family. It was now a criminal enterprise.
Yeah, you had the Tinkerer, you had the Shockers.
Yeah. He was at the top. He had like the best equipment, and he was pissed at Tony Stark because Tony Stark sat at the top after selling weapons and now has the best equipment.
And he's in the goddamn Avengers because of that.
I didn't see it that way.
I did.
I've seen it.
That's the way I saw it too.
Because after a while, like, because he's like, I just want to care for my family. Well, you don't have to have the nicest car and the what is it? What was he driving? Like It was a really nice car. You don't have to pay tuition at some super fancy school to take care of your family. But they didn't
show us how Herman and Montana were living.
No.
See, the thing is like...
If they had shown them in squalor, I think it would have driven that point home way better.
I agree, but I think that's the reason I don't believe your side, because they didn't show them in squalor. And Montana, they showed him at the very beginning of the movie, and he was kind of like... He was wearing like shaggier clothes, and then when they showed him later, he was that like pompous jerk. He knew he had money thrown around. He was acting like a jackass.
He had a Shocker hoodie on.
That
was rad.
Dude, I think that he had money, and the Vulture, as much as you're trying to drive that point home, and I agree with you, if you've seen it that way, that's fine.
That's how
I've seen it the other way, because every time he came back, he was like, he's taking... We've been doing this for 8 years.
Yeah.
He was saying. And then he was like, the spiders just gonna come out of here and ruin this thing that we've built? And I was just like, I kept hearing him talk about we as a group. He killed Montana because Montana fucked the whole thing up and got the spider out.
To be fair, he didn't think that was the right way when he was picking up.
Oh, that's true.
To the movie's credit, the only death in the whole movie, and despite being a throwaway joke, was probably one of the best things, because it seemed like that Darth Vader moment where he's like, "You've defied me for the last time, again!" And then Forrest chokes him, and he's just like, that wasn't the zero gravity gun? No!
Well,
and he's like, shit.
It kind of felt like they were like, he led up to the scene that it was gonna do something, and so then he was waiting for the director to tell him to like, okay, now we're gonna do this or whatever, and the director was like, cut, okay, cool, he's dead, and then they just kept rolling for Michael Keaton to be like, wait, what? You know?
This is the thing.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
This is the thing I liked about the Vulture. So, like, he obviously gets screwed over by the government, because who hasn't?
Yeah.
And so he takes things into his own hand. He starts robbing from the rich, so to speak, take care of him and his friends and stuff like that. But he got so tunnel visioned on one thing. He went from being somebody who wasn't very villainous to being.
Yeah, I will say he escalated. That's the one thing I will say. Like he never once at the very beginning said that he wasn't like a killer or he wasn't a bad guy. But at the end, he became such a bad guy that I couldn't side with him.
Yeah, which I think is really good for making it a classic, the classic villain.
You didn't hate him. You weren't afraid of him. Yeah. You weren't mad at him. You felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is good. Like we haven't had a villain like that in a long time, because it's either they're that clear-cut black and white where they're like, I'm the bad guy because I'm doing the bad things, and you're like, oh, I don't care about you. Or you have that super compelling villain where you're like, I root for you. This is the one where you're like, no, man, I get it. Yeah. I get you, but you're still wrong.
No,
I haven't seen then that's a very realistic villain. I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
No, it's somebody that you can connect with, and you could see yourself doing that if you're put in that situation. And that's solid.
And that really worked with like his equipment, kind of like his look sold that as well. Like it was something that was believable because it was a repurposed flight suit.
Right.
His jacket was real badass, by the way.
It was super tough.
And then like the suit, despite it like walking around like a dragon,
that sound it made when you first see him with it, where it was like, wah, super intimidating too. That was rad.
Yeah.
No, it was really good. I really liked everything they did with the Vulture. Even the Tinkerer was really cool.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it a lot.
Awesome.
He felt a lot like the suit guy from Daredevil, but a little bit
better.
Yeah,
that's the
Stiltman.
Is that Stiltman?
No, that's the Gladiator.
No, he's Stiltman. You can see stilts in the back of his.
So he might be making stilts.
That's not Stiltman.
I don't know if that's Stiltman or not.
Yeah, it's not Stiltman.
I don't know enough about that, so I can't weigh in on this.
No, that's Gladiator.
Alright.
I don't know. Oh, Gladiator, like
the Daredevil villain, Gladiator.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he's got buzzsaws on his arm.
Oh, it's that guy?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know who he is.
Oh, may I talk about something else I enjoyed about the movie?
Absolutely.
I like that damage control was in there.
Yes.
I have a soft spot for damage control. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, most of you probably do that are going to see this, but for those that don't, damage control is the people who clean up superhero fights.
Yeah.
They help people get their insurance money and stuff like that. So let's say that my giant brother here, Wilhelm, is not Hulk strong, but he's strong. Maybe he can't lift 100 tons, but he can lift 5 tons. So what would he do? He would go work for damage control. Mm-hmm. He would help pick up buildings to find people. They use like low-level psychics to sense emotion and stuff like that. I like that they introduced that in the Marvel Universe. It was really cool.
Well, yeah, because you got to do something with the runoff characters. I mean, everyone at the X-Men Academy can't fight.
You're not all Phoenix and stuff. You're not all going to be Wolverine,
right? Exactly. No. So you settle for characters that do like smaller things. I mean, like
someone who's like I think the Toad has a terrible power set. But I think if I was the only person in the world with superpowers and I got Toad's powers, I would probably be the best. It would be the best thing that ever happened to me.
But
I would be a bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be a bad guy, whatever power.
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to pay for anything. You're not going to be able to stop me, Terry.
I don't think that's
But
true.
at least you're not the kid. At least you're not the kid whose power set is to explode once he dies.
Right.
You're not that kid. Who then stayed with them and Professor X felt bad or whatever they want to call it, and he gave him like a suit to fight in or whatever. Like they were like,
did he actually ever explode?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Because if he did explode, did he come back?
No, I know that's a definitive thing. Like he dies if he explodes.
Yeah. The best crappy ability I've ever read in any comic book is by the mutant Cypher, who can read and speak any language.
But that's a great thing, though.
Awesome. You're not fighting the Hulk. You're not in the limelight. But you know what you are doing? You're interpreting high business level meetings for thousands of dollars an hour.
And that is why I was like, that's one of the reasons why damage control is such a good thing. Yeah. Because that's where you put that guy.
Yeah,
you put him in insurance claims because he'll be able to deal with insurance.
Everybody
comes like we explode.
It's like Dr. Doom comes, so now we have to do litigation with Latvian officials. And he's like, okay, well, I can translate. And you're like,
where the hell is Ray? Ray, you speak every language, don't you? Ray, didn't you come from that place up north in New York? That special school?
Quit pointing at foreign people and expecting them to speak every language. All right? That's not how this works. No, the damage control super cool. There were talks for like a damage control show too, so I was excited for those things, but nothing's kind of happening right now. I mean, they're busy with their other things right now.
I wish they would have gotten into it a little bit more in the movie, but I just hope that. First off, I hope it's kind of like an off branch of S.H.I.E.L.D. and you get to see superpower people.
Yeah.
Second, I hope that they dip that into further movies down the line because it is really cool. It's an interesting organization.
It's like a working man's type of thing. Yeah.
Cool story about damage control is Hercules got drunk one time and went ape shit like he always does.
Yep.
And his community service was he had to work for damage control for like 6 months. So and that was a really cool story.
Yeah. What else other stuff? I liked how Spider-Man fought in the whole movie. Spider-Man never threw a punch directly at a person in the whole movie.
I think it's because he didn't know how to.
He doesn't know how to punch?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't know how to do anything in the movie.
Yeah.
They were like, the whole movie was telling you
Hold on a second. Holier than thou, Terry. You can't throw a good punch.
Not at a villain.
I'm going to do a Terry punch. Ready?
Yeah, that's not how...
Hold on, I'm winded.
I think
I didn't notice that as much.
His tactics was like that he deflected, he he used his webs as tools for fighting and travel in a way that the other movies just kind of
You mean
didn't.
because the suit taught him? The suit made by
This was
Iron Man?
before he unlocked the suit lady.
He didn't do anything with his webs before
By
that.
the way,
what did he do before
when
that?
he was doing when he was fighting the guys in the ATM robbery.
Okay.
Because he like webbed the one guy's elbow and threw his arm at the other guy to make the guy punch the other guy.
Right, because he
Doing
couldn't
stuff
do it
like
because he
that.
was stuck, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing little stuff like... No, actually, he was on the ground when he did that.
Okay.
And that's how he fought throughout most of the movie. When he was fighting guys.
Yeah, but that was just using a web and
Yeah,
slinging a
but
guy's
it was
arm.
really cool because it was a creative way to fight in a way that Spider-Man can fight.
Yeah.
Like, any superhero can punch,
Right.
and you're like, yes, it's effective, but I like how they made Spider-Man fight in a Spider-Man
But that
way.
also caused that bodega to explode because he fought that dumb way.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy that cat got saved. For real, though.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is, like, I agree. Like, I'll give you that he did fight that way.
Yeah.
And then also caused a fuck ton of damage because he didn't fight them.
Yeah.
He did not ever, like, actually incapacitate and be a hero.
No.
He was just like, I'm going to keep fucking around here.
know who
and then
cleaned
he
up-
caused mayhem.
You know who cleaned up that damage? Damage control.
Damage control.
Damage control did.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't...
Speaking that means that if that happened 8 years ago, damage control's form, that means there is like an 8-year backlog of potential damage control stories.
Yeah.
There is.
I mean, after the incident and everything,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The what's the Chitauri invasion, Sokovia.
Well, but you have way before Avengers also, because
Yeah.
granted, if damage control is made right at Avengers,
Yeah.
that is after all the other crap that would have happened.
Yep.
That you could be previous
I
stuff
think
of
the
like
only other one that was like serious damage was Harlem.
that whole town got destroyed in Thor, right?
That was just like no, actually it didn't. It was one street.
That like okay, maybe
It was
I
it
felt
was like a few.
I don't know. I felt like I felt like that one street was the whole town.
Thor
'cause,
is
like,
one of my favorite superheroes. I block out most of the movies. to
I'm
be honest
excited
with you.
for the
the
next
new
one.
movie's going to be
Yeah.
rad
Yeah,
as
well,
hell.
yeah.
Supposed to be like a space road trip. That sounds awesome.
Anytime
I also
funny.
like.
It's funny that they were just like Thor and Hulk being like buddy cop or like buddies in space or whatever.
Frenemies in
Sounds
space.
cool.
Yeah.
And then when I hear the new DC fucking Green Lantern movie is gonna be a buddy cop like Lethal Weapon in space, and I just cry on the inside.
Yeah.
I don't. I fucking love Lethal Weapon. I'm excited
I
about
don't
that.
care that they're gonna
just-
turn
DC
Jon Stewart into I'm getting too old for this
Yeah.
shit. You know.
I
Like,
hope they do. I hope they do.
I think it's just because I
You're
don't have-
getting too old for this shit.
I am getting too old for this shit.
I just think it's because I don't have faith in DC.
Oh, yeah.
I have faith in Marvel to take literally any premise and make it a good movie.
don't-
Inhumans can
even
be a
if they fuck it
musical,
up a little bit,
and I
it's
would've
gonna be a good
loved it.
movie still.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Wonder Woman was solid.
Wonder Woman
It was definitely.
Yeah, but that was
That's-
because they
that's-
stumbled so much, and we just kept going. Stop fucking things up.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
when you hit the bottom, you can only go
Exactly.
up.
Right,
But
exactly.
Wonder Woman is the exception, not the rule. So
I don't
we
know, but
can't-
I mean, like the same thing is like it didn't do anything super crazy different than
No.
Captain America. The only thing it did different was it was with a woman. So that's the thing. It's like everyone that I've ever talked
the
to.
internet's gonna hate us.
Before
Him.
they can hate me.
It's him.
Hey, go ahead, hate me. Everyone that I talked to before Wonder Woman came out,
Yeah.
they were like Captain America was okay, and then Wonder Woman hit the scene. They were like, that's the greatest movie I've ever seen because they were all women. And then I was just like, but it did the same thing that Captain America did. And they were just no, it's totally different. And I was like, yeah, because it has vaginas. Like that's the only thing that happened different. Yes, there's a lot more that happened different,
Yeah.
but it is annoying that I was just like, I was just confused why they didn't like Captain America that much. But then they did like this, and they were like, I had a strong woman role model. I was like, fucking Peggy ran that whole movie.
Yes,
like
she did.
Peggy was like a perfect role model.
Also, the Alien movies have strong women role models.
yeah. Oh, there's not a ton. If we're gonna go that far,
But
there's
the
a
thing
ton
is,
of that.
I don't think it's for us to actually like to be able to say why people latched onto it.
No,
Like
know.
I think the main reason people didn't latch onto Captain America as much is because it's just like okay, I mean. It's a World War II movie. And,
I didn't latch on to Captain America that much because I was like, Hugo Weaving will not be in another Marvel movie, so
Yeah.
it's hard for me to care about this movie's conflict.
I think Captain America is the best of the Phase 1 movies, but
Yeah, because I liked it more than Thor.
Yeah.
But that's
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm not a big Thor fan, and
I like Thor a lot.
I love Thor. I just think the movie was weak. Like all the
It
Thor
wasn't
movies
as
so far
strong
has
as
been
it
weak.
could have been, but I was still pretty happy.
Yeah.
well, it's,
When he was powerless, it was pretty rad.
Yeah. Another!
Yeah.
Which we still do.
We drank, we fought, we made our ancestors proud.
So, going back to Spider-Man.
Which we're probably going to do after this.
Oh, yeah. The main takeaways for me for Spider-Man was I really liked the movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun watching it. I wish that Karen would have been Jocasta. I wish that would have been...
Yes.
I love the Cap thing at the very end, but I really
was hoping for that.
Well, I really wish at the end it would have been Tony would have been like, hey, here's the suit back. Also, her name's not Karen, it's Jocasta. You know what I mean?
That would have been
interesting fact. The suit, the actress that played the voice, who was married to Paul Bettany, who was the Vision.
Yep.
That's amazing.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and then if she ends up being Jocasta,
technically that's
so cool.
Technically that's his daughter.
Jocasta was in the Chips.
No, I know. That's why I said he found her just like, he made Friday and all kinds of other things. Yeah. But Jocasta was in the
I love that he has just like random AI sitting around on like floppy disks.
Well, but see, that's another thing is like Marvel's been good about giving those little takeaways because they can do anything what they want with their properties. But that's why you and I are upset about the Scorpion suit not being in that truck because Sony, I guarantee you that was Sony was like, you can't use this Scorpion suit. So we're going to do something with that later.
Yeah, because like...
so Marvel can't do an Easter egg there because Sony's a jackass.
I think Marvel... I have more confidence in Marvel doing that Easter egg because if it were Sony in charge of doing that Easter egg, it would have been like... The guy would have opened it up. He's like, "We found a scorpion suit."
Yeah, it would have been a scorpion suit made out of El Camino.
Yeah, and then
whoa! Point deduction below the belt hitting.
What? No, just on the side of it, it would have said blood in. On the other side, it would have said blood out.
Great Marvel would have, but Marvel, if they would have did, they would have
La Raza on the chest.
La Raza.
They would have flipped the thing, and you would have just seen something that looks like a scorpion tail. And then he would have thrown it back over.
And that's all we need, though.
Yeah.
We want those things.
Yeah.
That's why we look for those Easter eggs all throughout.
I just don't want it to be like, look at this Easter egg that we put in this movie.
We're glancing over the biggest Easter egg in the whole movie. So my biggest problem with Marvel movies has been Marvel has no mercy for their villains. Like, I'll use Crossbone for an example.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me that a fucking building fell down on this dude, and the second he has a chance to kill himself, he's gonna do that? That's not how Crossbones works. It's not who he is.
Right, oh yeah.
But, you guys remember when Peter is digging through the bag, when he gets trapped in that shipping container, what he pulls out, right?
He pulls out the Ultron head?
And it's glowing. It's still...
Is it?
I
did not notice that.
It was glowing.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, you see it for a second, and the eyes, like when he kind of drops it, the eyes look like they spark up a little bit.
Maybe that's the thing. I didn't notice that at all.
If I see, I'll look into some deep dive.
I'm really hoping that is. I love Ultron. He's one of my all-time favorite villains. In the we're in 616, right? That's our universe.
Yeah.
He is the end-all, be-all. Like Ultron does win, and I think that's really cool.
I don't know. Kang is like end all be all, really. I mean, Ultron's there too. I agree with you, but Ultron's always like
Ultron kills all the heroes. I guess I should.
He gets to that point. He does kill all the heroes, and then later on, then it becomes.
Then Kang becomes the only hero left.
Yeah, they also made he was like a black hero that kind of like sucked up all their powers. I forget what his name is right now, but in the Spider-Man comics, they did the future thing where he kind of did what Ultron does, where he takes on all the heroes and sucks all the powers out of them, and they go into him.
That's rad.
Yeah, he's like a mutant. A guy.
Is it Mimic?
No, it's not Mimic, but he is like he kind of reminds me of the guy with the T-spheres from DC.
Okay,
and he reminds me of that guy where he was like a businessman, but he was also a mutant, and then he just used his power to be able to start learning how to take heroes' powers and stuff. And that's what he did. He defeated all the heroes, and that future they live in is all under his thumb because he defeated all the heroes. Awesome. And actually, it's a cool story because it's a Peter Parker story because they're in this fight, and like the Avengers are like, Peter, we need you, and like Mary Jane and his daughter are getting attacked by Venom, and he was like, fuck you guys, I gotta go save my wife and kid. No. And then he goes, and that's what ruins, like, that's why they lose, because Spider-Man's not there to help, because he went for his family. And I was like, well, I don't care. At the end of that series, or first couple issues or whatever, he's like, they're walking down the street with him and his kid, and they get to a light, and they're just waiting at this light, and he was like, it's good, like, pretty much like the good to be alive, but then all around it's like obey and whatever. He's just like living in this world, but he's like, my family's alive, which is cool because it's always been the other way where Peter Parker will be with the Avengers, and then Mary Jane will just like or whatever. Like it's always
she gets eaten by zombies or something crazy.
Exactly. It's always like fuck him somehow, you know. And so it was refreshing to see a different thing, you know.
Since we're coming up on an hour at the end, last question I'm going to throw out there: what like Hail Mary, impossible thing would you love to see in the next Spider-Man movie?
Well, since they already gave us like MJ, they already took away my hopes of being Gwen Stacy because you can't. I don't like Gwen Stacy coming after Mary Jane, which is what I hated out of the Sam Raimi movies. Okay. So, and I liked that they started with Gwen Stacy for that. I did love Liz Allen. I didn't like that she was like the daughter of Vulture, but it's fine. Those are like little tweaks. Yeah. They're fine. They don't bother too much. But I just hope that they stay away from relationship stuff. If we're ignoring that, I hope that I get to see him go down the path of like the teaching role, less about the photography thing. I like the photography thing. It's a way he makes money. Yeah. But I also know that he's a scientist. And in this movie, they didn't do a lot of that. They showed him making the web fluid like once. And he's crafty at times. But really, Ned does a lot more things for him that he does, you know? Yeah. And so I really hope that in the next movie they do more of where they show that he's actually capable as not a hero. Okay. Which is a big plot point for Peter Parker. And I know that's not a Hail Mary thing. No. But I don't have a Hail Mary thing other than just give me him going a different route. I liked when he went to Horizon Labs and did other things. And when he was an assistant teacher, I liked those things. I didn't care when he was a photographer. Take pictures of superheroes, whatever. I don't care.
I wish I could do that.
Zach, what impossible Spider-Man thing would you like to see?
Well, I have a couple of them. I'm not a big Spider-Man guy. I never really have been. It just didn't appeal to me because I am a couple years older than Will. So like I grew up on like the Batman and like the Fantastic Four. Spider-Man really wasn't readily available to me like those were. The biggest thing is that I always found interesting about Spider-Man is that Spider-Man is a hero that has problems. Mm-hmm. That a lot of his problems are internal. Yeah. Not that, and it felt like in the movie, a lot of his problems were because of external things that he did. I would like to see more of that kind of struggle for the character because I feel
you mean like Tony Stark in Iron Man 1 and then less in like Iron Man 3 because originally he was an alcoholic, right? And they were doing facing
overcoming things inside himself like doubt or things like that.
That self-hate that came from that Parker love.
Right. Yeah. I would like to see that. The other one is that I was a big fan of this. I don't know how most people feel about it. I would like to see some more of that like Spider Tribal shit pop up.
Oh, okay. If we're talking, listen, if we're going to talk, if we're going to talk about a Hail Mary
now
thing,
I have to. All right,
that would be cool. But Sony has them, so I know I can't be that. You know,
dude. You said Hail Mary. That's my fucking end zone. Fine. I would like to see like Moreland, like the camp of the spider, all the different like animal tribes that other heroes.
Okay, fair. I'll take my own Hail Mary. Give me fucking Ben Reilly. That's all I want.
That'd be the
second
one was going to be Clone Saga.
Clone Saga.
Fine.
They'll just ruin the. Listen, if Tom Holland is the savior of the Spider-Man series, then give me Clone Saga now. Yeah. That way you can ruin it later or whatever, because maybe he'll survive Clone Saga.
Dude, and they're gonna give us. I think they're gonna give us the second Spider-Man as opposed to the first Spider-Man.
Spider-Man story is Grim Hunt, and I would love to see that on the film.
Yeah, Grim Hunt would be cool.
So my farthest expectation, Madam Web, in honor of Stan Lee's late wife.
You want first Madam Web then?
Madam Web as she was in the animated series.
Yeah, that's old Madam Web before they gave it to Carter. I forget her name.
But on a more realistic thing, I would like to see Kraven.
Yeah, well, we've talked about
Gerard Butler's Kraven.
Oh, jeez.
100%. Oh, that's my dream.
I like it.
Dude, that is my dream casting for Marvel. I have talked about this with Will
Butler the Hunter
for hours. About how I think he can do it.
Because I can't think of another guy that
who
really
else
like
looks that good thrusting a spear? No one.
Yeah, but Jordan Butler's also getting kind of old now, and he isn't like as ripped as he was. Like if we would have pulled Gerard Butler from 300, he could be.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I think if they did it to where he was more like, well, I'm not as spry as I once was, so I now have to step up
and kill the spider.
They could do it. They could do the angle where he's like he's getting frustrated that he's not taking down his normal game anymore, so he steps up his game to get better because he's getting old, and he's like, look at all these traps I've made for the spider. Like that would be great.
I think I'll give you that, but if you didn't go with the generic, white, Russian or whatever for him. If you went another way, like since Spidey is based on a Nazi, you went with like from Black Panther. You introduce a character that's just a side character that we don't understand yet. Yeah, and then he becomes like that's his thing. Like his big hunt is the spider, like is a Nazi, and then he would hunt him.
Kraven
get like a black Kraven.
This is the other person I have crowned for that. I'm actually going to look it up real quick while I look for it.
All right. Well, while he's looking that up, something I think I'm going to change my Hail Mary. I would like there to be literally one villain in the movie.
Okay.
One villain with a traceable origin back to the comics.
I don't think we can get like one villain in a movie.
I don't think we can either. That's why it's a Hail Mary.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'll give you that.
That's
Crap, I can't pronounce this guy's name.
Oh, Jimon Hansu?
Yeah, Jimon Hansu. I could watch that guy play every character in every movie by himself.
I could,
because I love that guy's acting style so much. I would love to see him be.
I could see him as Kraven. Dude, I mean, they made him goofy in Guardians.
I would watch him as Black Panther, Captain America, the Falcon, Ant-Man. I think that guy is so fantastic. Super happy that he was Korath the Pursuer?
Yeah, he was Korath.
Which was awesome. Yeah. But also, he didn't get a lot of love.
Yeah, he didn't. They made him a goof character, that's all.
Yeah, it was just somebody that could
pulled his brains out later.
The way that I always put it in movies is he was a mini-boss. You gotta fight the mini-boss to get to the big boss.
I mean, he led up to a pun from Drax. Yeah. You know, like, that was like, his culmination of his character was, I was like, stupid. Or what? I guess it's not a pun, it's whatever Drax was doing with his jokes.
Was it a metaphor?
Yeah, it was a metaphor.
But overall, I think it's obvious we're pretty positive
go see it. It's awesome.
Spider-Man. It's real good.
Yep. I'm gonna go see it again.
You've probably already seen it.
Oh,
to be honest, if you're watching this.
Yeah.
And if you don't care about our opinions, I don't care about your opinion. No, so take that.
I still do.
There's one thing we need to talk about. One thing.
Okay.
Tony, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
He got like a also in the movie thing.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow was like starring.
Oh my god, I was so mad about it. Gwyneth Paltrow got higher billing.
Dude, I know.
Fucking
knock that bitch down a peg.
Oh my,
all
she was second.
Right.
She got second billing.
Second billing in the fucking Spider-Man movie. It's so stupid.
Oh my god, shove that jade egg somewhere else.
Yeah, jade eggs and your fucking tattoos that do nothing because they're not made out of space material.
Stickers. They were.
I have no idea what these guys are talking about.
Oh, you don't know what's going on? Gwyneth Paltrow has been selling jade eggs for one, which works because fucking Chinese and Japanese people have been doing it for years. You know,
selling them works.
No. The thing that tightens your muscles down there. That works.
That's because you're just doing Kegels constantly.
I understand that.
Wait, you don't need a jade egg.
Putting giant weighted stones in her vagina to tighten that?
Yes.
Well, she might not be doing it to her, but she's selling it to other people.
She's selling it to get to spread healing and sexual energies.
Yes.
Which I'm.
So I can live with that.
Guess who's getting jade eggs for
Jade
Christmas?
is a porous stone.
My butt is so tight.
It already is, baby. It already is.
And it will collect bacteria. You have to Jade is not. If you're going to use a stone
I don't
for that.
care about any of those things. I'll let people do all those things. I'm a big believer in amethyst. I don't believe in any other hokey shit.
It's true.
But I love the
he believes in luck and bad luck very well.
I do. There's a lot of things that I like. I don't fully believe in ghosts, but I am still scared of ghosts.
You're superstitious.
It's stupid. Yeah, it's weird. And I get that I'm fucked up, but it's fine. But the jade eggs things, I'll give you. That's fine. A lot of people believe in that thing. It's not hurting anybody. But when you sell them, because you can clean it. They tell you how to clean it.
Yeah, but okay, that's the thing. It could bring someone to harm by.
He's not going to clean his poop.
Yeah, but you buy a hammer at the store.
You're not going to clean your poop stone. You don't get a jade egg.
Listen, I'll just drop it in the toilet and accidentally flush it and ruin my pipe. That's what would happen.
Right, but you could also buy a hammer at the store and leave it on a high shelf and then drop it on some lady's head.
Well, yeah, that's my fault.
Okay. So the stickers thing was where I drew the line. I was she's selling these stickers that you slap on you and they promote energy and positive energy and healing, and they're made out of space age materials that are part of the spacesuits that that NASA uses to make their spacesuits.
It's that special metal that
exactly
that will bring that energy into you.
And then NASA was like, that's not true at all. She's a fucking liar.
Yeah, we don't make this our spacesuits out of that.
That whole Western medicine, like yoga, stones, healing, all that stuff, it's been around for a long time for a reason, but this is the reason why everyday people like us don't like people like that.
Yep.
It's because of this kind of crazy-ass shit.
Just you got to draw a line somewhere. Yeah. I am a big believer in placebo effect. That's fine.
Do no harm.
Right.
It should
but
be
if
the
you're
first.
Right, but if you're dying from cancer, a jade egg isn't going to help.
And that's the problem that I have is that people will there are a lot of people who will seek that alternative medicine out.
It's a last-ditch effort hope for a lot of churches.
That you send money to in envelopes, and then they'll send you a nice letter back to you, and then ask for more money, and it's like, but we'll give you prayers.
But the thing is, there are some people who will seek that out as a first option.
Yeah.
And those are the tragic cases that I personally would never want to see it at all, period.
Well,
and this stuff kind of promotes that.
But it's also going to be worse, too, because look at what Trump Care is doing.
So,
like, the idea, not even what Trump Care is doing, it's the idea of Trump Care.
Radioactive spider bite is a pre-existing condition.
Colbert did a good joke on that, where they show Uncle Ben in an alley, and he's shot, and Spider-Man was like, oh my god, what happened? He was like, I'm going to find your killer, and he was like, you don't have to go far, I did it myself. And he was like, Trump Care wasn't going to cover these things, if I wasn't going to be able to pay for medical bills, and blah, blah, blah. It's really dumb, but funny.
This got a bit too political. We were talking about Spider-Man, but
also we're just talking about Colbert.
We're also we wanted to hit an hour.
Cut this out. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Or chip out whatever you want. I don't know.
No, I just want to the Gwyneth Paltrow, her billing that bothers me.
I said we keep it all raw.
I'm probably going to keep it all in.
Yeah, we are.
But it was Gwyneth Paltrow's high billing that really. She was in 3 minutes of that movie,
right?
And she got higher than Ned. She got higher than Liz.
Dude, Happy Hogan was in the movie more than she was. Even if he was just an answering machine.
Yeah, and Robert, the reason I get Robert Downey Jr. being last, he probably was like, give me the last one.
Yeah.
Because and also is kind of a special place.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is just Tony Stark.
Hasselhoff settled for that, too.
So he doesn't get
At the end of the movie, it said, at the very end, it was Hasselhoff or whatever, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know. I feel like that's where it was.
But this has been the second Flannel Cast.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have these guys here. I like how we disagree, because I have other friends where if we really disagreed, we'd be yelling at each other. I still think these guys are great dudes.
I don't like to yell.
Yeah. We're still doing our thing from the last Flannel Cast, which is tell us the next movie we should see. Episode 3 is going to be the next movie we talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this going to be the next movie? The next movie's Thor.
Well, no. Because we have to wait for another big superhero movie or a big topical thing, so we want people in the comments to tell us a movie to see.
Oh, okay. You were saying episode 3. I was thinking episode. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, whatever. I was thinking Star Wars.
You guys tell us to go see
We'll go see something in the movies. We'll
go
something on Netflix.
Baby Driver, fucking.
I should want to go see Baby Driver.
I do too, very much. We'll watch White Chicks. I'll give you a deep description on it.
I loved White Chicks.
Yeah, it was great. Terry Crews.
I was about to say, Terry Crews is in it. It's a good movie.
Super happy about the voice actor they picked for Doomfist and Overwatch. Super bummed it's not Terry Crews.
I know.
But this is us. We went over. I'm assuming we're going to go over every single time.
You can't not happen.
Yeah.
3 strong personalities are colliding in a ring of opinions.
Bye,
Bye guys! Shut it off.
No, you
shut it off.
You shut it off. You stop it. No. Yes, I have to
Unique New York. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
Lemon face, lion face.
I only know the seashell one.